month and a half, so a fair chunk of time to be fair. But there's a fair amount of history between these two teams. They've obviously run up against each other many a time in qualification to events, within events, in Challenger League. There's a lot of data to draw from in terms of that, and I don't know. Maps are definitely going to be interesting. We'll have to hop in and see how it actually does play out. I think I'm becoming something of a fan of the Sprout roster just because of how much we've seen from them and how much I like what they've got brewing with the young guns of lauNX and Staehr. But yeah, this French squad has a lot of explosiveness, a lot that they can potentially pull off.
So I just looked it up, Mike, to give some context to how good HEET used to be on this map. End of last year, going into 2022, they had a 16-map win streak on Vertigo.
That's pretty good.
And to now have only a 25% win rate, that's a steep drop-off. But that's the reason why. Stats might say this is heavily Sprout, but I still think HEET's got it in them to play a great Vertigo.
Slack's trying to shoot in a knee. Trying to retire some adventurers out here. It's not going to happen just yet. It does seem like this is just going to be the ramp fight. bodyy. Some degree of risk. Lucky though with the dualies. He was expecting players to potentially be closer, so that flashbang will go for naught. And there's just one remaining smoke over on the CT side. Joko though, well, he went down mid. Cleared out the steps. He's calling to his teammates. It's definitely the A play. They've got literally nothing else. And Afro will find the bomb. So if rotation's going to come through here for Sprout, they're going to have to figure out where the heck Joko actually is. I do not envy them that fact. They're stalling out in a big way. They're going to have to get on the site. They've still got all their util, but they're going to need some kills, and that's not working. The fight back in is coming through now for the French, but it's Spiidi and Staehr who have just completely turned this round over on itself.
Tough spot, 1-on-3. I guess he's unsighted, but they'll know he's the B player. Gets peeked. Staehr is on a tear. Free for him, and for HEET, we've got to be critical. Man advantage. Full information. I'll tell you what, Mike. Do you think you need to fight A when you have 4 there, and they're completely penned in? I don't think so. Definitely not. And if they just play crossfires on the site, I don't think Sprout could have won that. So, a little bit overeager at the start.
Yeah, I mean, maybe just a bit of impatience, right? Joko has so much information, he gets to pick his spot, so he knows that they're completely hemmed in, that they really can't get back out. And a bit of an odd one, perhaps, trying to deal the decisive blow, trying to get wild with it. Speaking of wild with it, it's going to be a massacre. They did find one, but 3 kills back for Rawls means that he will actually make the value of that Galil back himself.
Okay. Investment soon to come after that second round at Eco. No AWP in play for Afro. Plenty of rifles. Really lacking actually in Molotovs, so they want to truly fight for ramp. Be a tad more difficult, and look at this. Solo A start, 3 in mid, aggressive on the flashes. Double flash comes in, Spiidi. He'll be in trouble here. So, I thought he's going to win that duel. He loses out, but Rouse gets a reply across the map. A lot of fight here as the aggression is being piled on bodyy in ladder room. Finds one down that choke point. So lots of map control and a man advantage here for HEET.
I'm loving the early aggression in towards mid for HEET, right? This round they get Joko down the ladder. This time it's bodyy waiting at the top of it. They're making sure that you can't get comfortable here for Sprout. There are a lot of teams that kind of run it very passive in towards mid, not HEET. I mean, you can see bodyy now. He's just making his way in towards spawn as well, so that's going to control a ton of the rotations. The one potential issue is it's pretty soft towards A right now. It's just Afro. Oh, Afro does have a lot of explosive potential, but he could use some support. Lucky's starting to shift on over. That's just in the right time. Sprout a bit slow into this take. They're using their utility methodically, but it's not really netting them much of anything at all just yet. To get this bomb planted, the bomb has to cross all the way from the side hall. There's the util value. There's a kill onto Afro. No chance to escape. And a bomb down as well.
After plans are critical. Rouse commits to sandbags. Staehr nearby. They need to take fights. They need to peek. Some nades starting to rain in. Hopefully there's a kill on the site. Smoke misses. That doesn't help. Staehr on a mission. Head removed of bodyy. swinging wide. Rouse comes upon. Gets the first, seconds on default. Time is dwindling. Rouse just trying to stay alive, dancing around the sandbags. Even finds the frag. 4K for the in-game leader. 7-1 is his stat line. And Sprout, they're making a few mistakes, but they're winning these rounds.
I think hilariously missed smokes are one of my favorite things. I mean, it looks like they were trying to like send a signal off of the skyscraper, right? Trying to shoot a flare up just on top of the girder. Completely useless. The only thing it's covering you off from is the helicopter. You remember the helicopter used to swirl at the beginning of the rounds on Vert?
Those were the good old days.
And it would actually show a feed on that little TVNT spawn?
I don't remember that, to be honest.
Oh, it did that. It did that. Yeah. And so as the CTs, if you wanted it to go away, if you shot at the helicopter, it would actually go away. That's why they got rid of it.
Got these great mechanics.
Right? Who needs competitive integrity? Just have sick things. It does kind of stink for map designers that sometimes they just put in like really cool atmospheric effects, and the community is like, yeah, that's sick, but also no.
Well, you are preaching to the choir on that one, because I actually got into esports playing Battlefield. And they released Battlefield 4. It had a lot of huge map mechanics where you could destroy entire buildings, so there was no competitive scene because the map literally completely changed mid-game.
Kind of sick though, isn't it? Oh, body. All right, body. Players are just isolated enough now that they aren't. Have to be an absolute champion to get more out of this. I don't want to give him the fight. They knew that one dig bullet could be it. And they won't allow him a chance to pull another trigger.
Did he not know there was one? I'm a little bit perplexed. He should have known there was one default and then...
I mean, it's a tough way to play.
Right.
He's hoping that they're both just so scared it gives him a little room to maneuver, right?
No, but
he's a deagle with no health.
Left. He peeked left as he came out. He should have known they were default on right side. Not that it would have made a huge bit of difference, so we'll let him off. We'll let him off for that one. Guns out though, Lucky.
50 lashes with the wet noodle.
Lucky's on the AWP actually, he's not Afro. That's a surprise.
Is that a spawn thing? Or is it a spot thing? Because Afro is deadly with that AWP. Afro playing in by the scaffolding here, very aggressive with it.
They wouldn't be the first French team to do this. Zaiwu religiously played A on the fully French Vitality and Shox AWP'd mid. But that was because they wanted their strongest player on the strongest position. And then he'd AWP if he needed to, but normally rifled. This is a little bit confusing. We'll see if it continues going into the half, but as you mentioned, it's a bit of a waste not to use Afro fully to his potential.
To be fair, though, I mean, the same logic can apply here. Afro is nuts with a rifle in hand, too. He can kind of do it with everything, generally speaking. I think statistically, body's probably top of the board for them, but Afro, when I've watched them, Afro's been the player who individually has impressed me the most. So, maybe just Afro strong.
I'm a body fan. I love
You're a body fan?
I love bodies.
Yeah, you do.
That's the problem.
Yeah, you do. lauNX loves him a little B control. And he's found a lot of space here. He's got a player below him on the steps, but if they actually want to go for this, they're going to need to regroup and reformat. It seems like that's not going to be the case just yet. Staehr's just been collected by Afro. So here's Afro getting aggressive. Look at that damage. Ball's trying to bail out. Maybe we're seeing why Afro plays in that position on ramp. His next kill is critical. Oh, he does indeed. Now they've got the site secured. That bomb can rotate on over. It can be planted. And the fight back in for the French is not going well. Disjointed and dropped. lauNX with 3 massive impact frags. He found all the space towards B, and he found all the critical kills to take the 5th round.
Huge round. Huge round. Everybody hitting their shots individually on Sprout. I like how they've called this half so far, and if it continues at this rate, maybe we're being illuminated a little bit on HEET. Remember, first gun round, super aggressive in mid. And from then onwards, they try to play a little bit more standard, and it hasn't worked at all. They've been picked apart. So maybe this is where the issue is, getting map control, you know, the push and pull of information. How do you get map control back? Big part of CT Vertigo, and So far, that's been a problem child for HEET.
Just trying to think of Joko. Problem child. I don't have it, Alan. I'm gonna ruminate on that.
I think the body joke was good.
Yeah, that carries us through a couple rounds. It's also apparently going to carry Sprout through a couple rounds because they are continuing to collect here. So, I mean, at this point, you're assuming a 6-0 down start. Assuming it pretty comfortably, too. With money built up for the T side. Like, this is pretty dang ideal of a start for Vertigo. It does not get better than this for Sprout.
Much needed timeout, though. Have a little bit of a discussion. Go down the playbook. And as I mentioned, I don't think it's an overarching, you know, not fighting enough for ramp control or should play more numbers B. I think it's the mid round, you know, getting the information, making good decisions. And that's concerning in the sense that probably hard to fix that mid game. Maybe communication's a bit off, maybe a little bit rusty coming into this series. So we're having a bit of a discussion. Pick the comms up, guys. You know, let's try something a little bit different. So they have on the cards, but this is getting scary, and Sprout's money is already looking real nice.
Hard to hate it, hard to fault it. You got everything you want in terms of util, though. We saw some aggression in towards mid. Obviously not with enough of results, but with pretty good immediate results. Not going to get that in this round, although that is a two-man setup, right? They're expecting a face of their own. And with that not found, I wonder if Lucky's going to go for a little pushy poo. Push and pull. Util coming in towards the B steps. Presence has been detected. That's the setup Exorcise, but Exorcise twisting and turning. He's going to helicopter his way on down to death. Joko could be in trouble here. He's got support, though. Lucky. That nade. That nade. Oh, takes Rawls out of play and wrecks the boost in the same maneuver. That's a well-placed HE. And suddenly this is back in control for the French, at least for the moment.
Time is going a little bit low as we group here towards a boost. Jumping over to take on that gap angle. Bodyy still has nades. He's got his teammate in Afro playing an Ivy. The short side. Such a strong position. You're righter. You can pick the angles. Aggress in and out when you choose. Even if you get forced back, the spot is still good. And with nades lacking, they have a couple Molotovs, but these had to be perfectly placed to deal with Afro.
There's one, clear cement. And not going to commit them to Afro, at least not yet. Bodyy on top of the box is the next problem. Oh, and he is a problem indeed. Drops the bomb, 25 seconds. They don't have the util for this, and the panic is starting to set in, but that's a huge miss for Afro. And it will be punished. What a shot from Slacks, the no-scope on, but they have to deal with the player on the side, and it's not going to happen. This round is over. Slacks is trying to save this AWP, but he will not be permitted as his body is sent flying down to the bottom of the ramp.
Much better from HEET. So much more composed, saving the nades. You could kind of see, so a term we use in the professional level is pre-plans, okay? And a pre-plan is when mid-round you have a discussion with your site partner and you agree, how are we going to play this situation if this thing happens? And they had that. They said, as soon as ramp gets taken, I'm going to drop a smoke, I'm going to stand on default, you commit to playing an IV. And small little things like that, always important. This fight is super awkward. Exercise hits the deck. lauNX finds another head for his trouble. This kid is unreal at finding B-sites.
Couple from Spiidi here. Joko as well. lauNX's work may all be for naught. Not getting anything out of it. There's still some space to be gained here towards B, and it's been abandoned by HEET. So that's a bomb plant. Just about secured. Spiidi, you have to be careful not to fight too far forward. The worst thing he could possibly do here is give up the bomb. He'll do damage. Certainly not a kill. Spiidi can back off of that Molotov, but into this crosshair body. Nicely done. Nice bit of work here. It's all going to fall to Rawls, the captain. It's all just him now. He's found the forest, but now they know his position. They should be able to clear. Util can't come out now. You got to do it with the gun. It's not going to happen. Afro seals the deal, and HEET find their second.
Good recovery. We've got to look at that from the Sprout perspective, haven't we? 5 on 3. Bodyy was alone. And it just kind of felt like half in, half out, didn't it? 2 players go up and die, but the whole team doesn't commit. It's kind of like, if you're going to take B, take it. And if you're going to slow the round down and play, you know, call a freeze, slow it down, figure out where the CTs are, then make an informed decision, do that. But they kind of did a bit of both, and they got the worst of both worlds.
They're doing a lot of that with lauNX right now, right? Sort of letting him create, but the question is how quick are they to respond when he does? Because so far, he's been their most successful player. He's creating a lot. So maybe just put the faith in him and let him do it from the get-go. He can't ride his coattails to success, to glory.
Did 8 damage.
Yeah, chunky.
That was nice.
Red bars. Do you have,
What did you just say?
I said red bars?
Oh, I thought you said De Bears.
Yeah, he's a Val coach now, I think. I wonder if he's still doing that. He was for a little bit. I don't know if he still is. Let's see what Twitter says. No, I don't know if he's with the team right now.
You better let the viewers know who De Bears is, because some of them might not have been around for long enough.
Who De Bears is? De Bears is a former 1.6 pro who has done a lot of commentary at various points. North American 1.6 pro. His name is Eric. He's a funny guy. I don't know what else to say about him. He's done a few upper end events. I think he's done a BTS and things like that. Been a while since he's done much of any casting, and I think was spending his time off coaching. So yeah, he's still around doing things. I don't know what, but I'm sure he's still around doing things. Oh, pressure on for Lucky, and that's going to be a timely entry for lauNX. Once again, he does it. This time their backs were turned, made it easy work for him. But they need to get that bomb down, and that's the big trouble. His impact's been a little late, but just in the nick of time, they will get those numbers punched in. HEET were backing away, hoping that the clock would just run out. Now they're going to have to attempt the retake, but what they're really waiting for is Afro. Actually, never mind. I misread the minimap. He's all the way over, or is he at steps? I think he's at steps.
He must be. He must be.
Yes, he is. Okay, there we go. Minimap just throwing me for a loop. Now he's crossed on over, and he didn't actually need him at all. bodyy and Joko just did it all themselves.
Looking good. Good on the retake. It felt like it could fall apart there when lauNX got through kind of unspotted, but the crossfires from that CT area across to the generator were too strong as they came over the window. So a bit of a swing here, where HEET started off looking real flat. They took the timeout, Mike, 3 in a row. So much improved. And I think De Bears would be proud of that.
Yeah.
So if you want to know what De Bears is like, guys, watch. There was a podcast with Stunner Foreign called Put Up or Shut Up. Okay. De Bears was a common feature on this podcast. And I'm not sure what happened there.
Smoke play. Staehr jumping around it. He gets 1, not the second. Very nice to build here. It is the Young Guns once again leading the charge here, and lauNX and Staehr. Doing a lot of entry work as well, right? Staehr on the A ramp, lauNX primarily over towards B. And that's a really timely peek coming out from Joko on bodyy. Big kill to find, dropping Spiidi, doing damage on the walls as well. This slows it right down. The nade comes into chase. It's all falling apart. It's unraveling here for Sprout. It's these situations where they kind of get caught out, right? Where they have those initial picks, they have those initial fights, and then they stall just a little bit and leave themselves potentially exposed. And at this point, HEET, with the man pushed down the B steps, have so much information that they can just leave through here. They're leaving mid open, perhaps, but they've seen the bodies, they've seen the presence. They're pretty comfortable about this. They're confident. It's a Sprout with 35 seconds. Don't really have much to their advantage.
That smoke is so annoying. The one to the left side of default. You can't really plant. You'll just get spammed. bodyy as well. He's got the A1S, so he'll have no fear doing so. And Maybe this is even a save. 16 seconds. Bomb about to round Ivy. Remolly now onto the main plant area. 9 seconds. 8 seconds. He's going to go for the stick. Somehow gets in unscathed. So many numbers
chance.
on the retake. This is going the way of me.
There we go. Now Slacks connects. You gotta imagine this. I'm surprised they're not even just sticking at the rifle. It's going to chase up now, and you just can't connect. Too much chip damage to the corner. The elimination comes through, and there was even a flank on if somehow Slacks had been able to hit those first two. So a defuse through here. Heat now running 4 in a row. 3 in a row? It was 6-1, right? 3 in a row here
6-0, I think.
Heat. Was it 6-0?
Yeah, I think so.
My memory is poor.
They paused at 06. I'm quite
You're right.
confident.
You are quite confident. You are quite correct as well.
Nice.
Okay, so yeah. 4 rounds in a row here for Heat. Quite the turnaround, quite the turnabout. And it does feel like they're doing a good job of stalling Sprout out, even when Sprout get those initial forays in towards the site.
Well, you could see the difference between these rounds and the earlier rounds where they're not just fighting to the death. It's not all in. They're not going for super hard map control. It's more like you default out a bit, get some information, you get that B player into a good spot, he gets full information, you load up there and you use your nades really effectively. So it's a very different way of playing, and I kind of feel like a bit of a genius for spotting that early on. It's almost like I used to coach and call the time.
Almost like you do. It's almost like you did. And Afro, oh, he's doing a lot. He used to do it. He does it now too. He kills everybody. 3 big frags to just shut down this round before it really even starts for Sprout. They don't even get up the ramp. They don't get out of forklift. They're decimated. This A fight is really not working out for them lately. And why not? Afro attack on a 4th. Go for the ace. Go for the ace. It's just Rawls. Chase him. Chase him. Hunt him. Come on, Afro. Got the taste for blood right now, and there it'll be. The ace from Afro, all 5.
Looking good. Looking good. Feels like a swift turnaround, doesn't it? No bomb plants and no chance of a reinvestment. And Sprout. A lot has changed in these last few rounds. It feels like a lot of those early successes, lauNX was generating a lot of entry frags, wasn't he, on B? So I'm not sure what exactly Heat changed on that side, but it seems to be a little more consistent. Maybe a little more reserved. Not allow the early fights. But whatever's been adjusted is working very nicely indeed. As Heat, what was a really bad start, are making a good half of this.
They are indeed. That they are indeed. Nice opener here. It's just the Teagues on the other side. A Glock for Slacks as he tries to save towards the AWP. Never mind. He said a Teague donated over. Advantage of long spying, I suppose. But the advantage for Lucky right now is he's just got the hook baited. Just waiting for another nibble. I'm not going to give it to him. The fish have all fled the pond. Instead, they're headed towards what they think is safer waters on A. It's not. Afro lurks. Body is here. The strongest sets of crosshairs on this team, and one after another they are finding their prey. But Rawls might have something else to say now. He's got a rifle. The nades are chasing. He's got to be careful. No help to spare for those AGs or that spam. Very nervous about any bullet that comes on through. 30 seconds. He could just leave. He's obviously got to be quiet about any rotation. He's challenging on Vertigo. Spot on the first. Being spent here, so wary of the side hall flank, but it's his front that he's got to worry about, and that's one more kill. Not a bad effort to find a bit of extra damage. I don't know that it much matters right now with Heat's bank built up, but the reality is the same. We now got a tight scoreline.
Let's pay attention. Let's pay attention to Sprout because they've lost down a lot of opening, let's say, scenarios, because I don't think it's just the frags, it's also the map controls. So let's see if Sprout can, you know, use their utility well, gain space without dying, and actually start pushing Heat around. Heat have just completely dictated the game for the last 6 rounds. Lucky
been rocking that off for most of this half as well, which is interesting. Actually sees 2 nice kills here. Down below the steps. Once again, Sprout are 1 foot in the grave of a round before that round's even really begun. Staehr. They need some sort of a pop-off here, and he tries to go for a bit of a spam. Actually has the right read, just doesn't have the connection.
I'm not sure I've ever seen that boost before.
The boost over the smoke by the side hole.
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
Nice.
Your field of view has to be pretty narrow, right? Into forklift?
Surely, yeah.
Good. Staehr flashed, panics, and slacks his lost in the same breath. Not making it comfortable for Sprout. Molotov's in, making an eye on impossible to get this bomb plant while the smoke's still up, and the tracers from Spiidi give him away. It's another catastrophic round. Staehr even thinking about saving, and he will not be allowed. Not a single kill for Sprout there. Nothing. They are blanked on the board, and that was a substantial investment. That was everything they possibly could have wanted, and they are just left with nothing.
7 in a row. Half of 2 stories, isn't it? And factor in the Sprout 1 and converted pistol. Suddenly the gun rounds are heavily leading the way at the French squad, and this was the fear coming into Vertigo is HEET. Stats say they're out of sorts. I thought slightly differently. Aggressive ramp take on the cards. Sprout, they're playing in front of it. They've got no utility behind this, so they have to find kills thick and fast. Flash comes through, but don't commit through that yellow smoke. 3K for Afro. Eagle in hand makes it 4. Almost the ace. Why do we criticize his rifles? He's amazing.
Dude, it would have been... I mean, no, I don't think we ever criticized his rifles. I think we just said, why doesn't he have the up? Because he's just good with everything. But I got an ace at a 4K. He got 13 kills. 9 of them have come in 2 rounds. Bonkers. Actually, kind of wild. One more round in this half.
Bodyy
right?
Still needs a shout out. 18 to 8.
Yeah.
Played so well.
Yeah, he is the much more consistent output as well. Oh, I like the run boost from lauNX. Didn't quite land it, and Lucky punishes.
That's a kicker. So for those unaware, you're meant to land on the edge of the sandbags and immediately start shooting. But be it movement or the initial jump, didn't quite land it and paid the ultimate price. Another man deficit. When was the last time Sprout had an entry kill? It feels like an age ago.
Yeah, it really does. These rounds have just been kind of on the back foot from the get-go. They do at least even up the scoreline, but they lost lauNX, one of the more effective players, and now Staehr is gone as well, and Afro is hungry for more. He's starting to feel the fire, and they can't keep him at bay. Bodyy with 2 to find his 20th kill and send us to the half.
Listen to the beat, the sound of my heart. It will be alright. Just to make a start. Feel it close to you, like a wind. Say it again, set me free. Feel it close to you, like a wind. Say it again, set me free. Set me free. Set me close to you, like a wind. Say it again, set me free. Feel it close to you, like a wind. Say it again, set me free.
We're back here, and Heat. We're in the driver's seat for the whole end of that half. I mean, 9 rounds in a row, during which Sprout had very few moments where they actually looked like they had something going, just getting blanked out of rounds. It's got to be frustrating for the Sprout squad. Oh, it's not starting out well either. Joko finds the first, the second as well. Why not? Joko, just kill everybody. All right, he won't do that, but still, he's got an advantage for his team, and now they've got the opener on towards Zay. Slacks and Staehr need to make something happen, and that's just going to be up to Staehr. A 1v3, the bomb has its pick of the sites. And just now, Afro coming in from mid is going to make this very difficult for Staehr. As soon as his position's known, Afro should be there on the flank. Yeah, there it is. Now they know. Now they know he can't be long for this world, and he'll actually go straight into Exorcis's glove pointed at his temple. Not a chance in that round. From the word jump, Heat had it.
Okay, so the runaway train. No breaks are found. 10 in a row. What do, Sprout? You take an eco and give them an 11th? Seems to be showing no signs of forcing up, so a full eco. Any frags here would be nice. They're going to load up B. There's no point playing standard with this sort of weaponry. Flash ready to go. So we'll see if anybody greets them.
Ooh. Lucky's just holding for this. Meanwhile, lots of mid control being taken here. Even with the stack coming through mid, might just make this pretty tough to have work here. Sprout have lost the first. Wolves are at their backs. They've been forced down the steps. Now Lucky hears the footsteps and knows, and he says, all right, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. I've lost my rifle, but it's fine. Actually gonna go back B. What? What are they doing? The bomb's moving one way. The players are moving the other. This is about the only way I could see this potentially going awry. And I think there's a lot of confusion as to who's actually playing where, but Heat have isolated themselves in a way that makes me a bit nervous. Still, this should not be around, obviously, in a 2v4. But I love how solo they played some of these positions, Alan. Yeah. It's, I mean, the brakes on this train have been broken at this point, right? Heat is just chugging on down the track 11 rounds in a row. You got to do something if you're Sprout. Here's where you got to throw out the roadblock. Here's where you got to try and derail them. Otherwise, you may not get another chance. That's between between the spam, between the nade. He takes the first without even really needing to see a player. That will put Heat on the back foot. We talked about it. It's been so long since they really got much in the way of openers. But this one's huge. A flashbang for Staehr. He goes through. Will they challenge him? They will. But now with the utility fading, he can't stick around.
Really drop the pace now. You can see Sprout 2-1-2 setup. Spiidi's got that aggressive angle in mid. So he's conveying a lot of information. And he'll be fast flanking as soon as there's some confirmation on where this round is ending. Grouping up on A are HEET. But Slacks and Staehr, they want to take some duels. They're on aggressive angles. They want to fight them as they come up the ramp. Counter smoke lands, spray through the mesh, nets a kill. Slacks, though, can't find anything. 1 for 1 as they claw their way up the ramp.
They do. They're still enforcing it. Do they have any smokes? They don't. That's going to be a problem. Need to get behind this one then. Flashbangs have been spent. That's a huge kill to find on Staehr. Rawls is trying to get in here, but he knows it's a massive risk. Wants to spam it now. He's confirmed that he's close in. Joko will get this bomb down. The flank is on, but are they ready for it? XC's just in the nick of time, but it's bodyy. Bodyy who must do everything, and he's being peppered on down, so there's the round for Sprout. It's not exactly what I would call comfortable, but to get it over the line here, Alan, they give themselves a much-needed breath of fresh air.
Well, the main thing is they've just stopped the onslaught. That was 11 in a row.
Yeah.
So, I mean, win it with all your players dead, it's still a result when you're ending a streak like that. But as you're mentioning, the issue here is they're going to have no cash when they've reinvested. Their loss bonus is now back to 1-9. So they're in a tough spot, and they simply have to chain rounds together.
Nade in. Unslacks gets an opener. So here we go. Here's the chain starting. The link is starting to be formed. It's forged. They're hammering it in. Making the connection. Oh. And body's almost falling off of the building.
Yeah, I was going to say, he almost
Don't do that.
plummeted.
Don't do that, buddy. Especially not with the AWP. Body's gonna come hunting here pretty solo. Craving a date with longs, but Bodyy Unlucky cannot get anything in the spam. Indeed, takes Lucky down quite low. Young guns are eager to be let off the leash on either side of the map. Staehr and longs. It's interesting that basically the CT setup completely mirrors the way they play on T as well. In terms of who's trying to create, who's trying to entry, who's trying to take that first contact.
This angle is dirty. This angle is really dirty from Staehr.
Oh.
And he gets out of dodge. Thinks about repeat. This kid is so damn good. 2 for him. Rouse, 1 waiting over that sandbag smoke. It's a tricky angle and he makes it work.
So what he was spotting there, right? It's just like a pixel gap in the scaffolding, right?
Staehr.
Yeah. He's got it. There's a tiny gap in the mesh. And when you see someone cross it, you spam it, right?
I don't think you can see anything.
I thought you could. I think there's like 1 pixel.
There. Ooh. You mean the same one you get AWP through?
Yeah.
In the other direction. I don't know, to be honest, but I'm quite confident when you're in that spot, all you can do is wait for them to swing up and into yellow. Right? It's such an off angle that you always get them first.
Well, it's just the Glocks here. The French onslaught has been broken. It's back to advantage Sprout, at least in this round. Still a 3-round lead for HEET. But they're just trying to bait out a shot right now. Burn something. Utility, op bullets. Ammunition's expensive, don't you know? Playing like it's a 1.6. And the rebuy ammo. Okay, Staehr. Down for the count. bodyy gets it with the Glock. This is starting to get a little bit nerve-wracking for Slacks. He's got the reinforcements here, though, in the form of Rawls, and while they try and retrieve the gun, it turns out that is honeyed poison.
Honeyed poison.
Honeyed poison.
That is a line. You come up with that?
I don't know. Probably. I may have read it somewhere. It feels like a term that someone else would have used. I'm sure someone else has used that term before.
I like it. I'm taking it. Okay. Super aggressive from Jocko. Through the smoke, exercise with a second in mid. This round has fallen apart so quickly. And even now, Staehr, he's trying to force a duel, but there's so many numbers. He's going to have to seed. Sprout might have the 3 here, but there's so many men to the lesser.
Oh, that doesn't help. That doesn't help. Losing Rawls towards the back of the site now, it's disastrous. It really is. The bomb's going to go down. It's got to be the save. lonX and Staehr, they're out of there. Next to he's on the flank. What's he going to find? Who's he going to catch? The answer is lonX. And maybe just lonX at the very least. But still, that's a tough round for Sprout. Economic ruin, that lets HEET back in, that lets the gas back on, that lets them back in the swing.
Clean round as well. 4 alive. Jocko looking good. Exercise aggressive as well. Helping out. As they make their way up to 12. So, still in the lead. Sprout will invest again. And if Staehr can hold on to this AK, maybe he can even drop an A1S over to one of his teammates. So, starting to get a little bit more of a closer affair. And fortunately for our sakes, after that first half, a little more back and forth, less streaky, and this always makes for more entertaining CS.
Yeah. Money's weird now for Sprout, right? You've got 7k on lonX, 7k on Splax, and they're gonna make this work, it seems, and it's gonna be okay. So a little creative accounting needed to figure out who can actually get what and how you maximize utility, but they have spread that wealth around. Because you know, Alan, money is like manure. It doesn't do any good unless you spread it around.
But I like hoarding.
Well, then you're gonna start to stink.
Wise words. Wise words.
That is a reference. That's from the show Hello, Dolly.
Never heard of it.
It's a good musical. Nice kill. Traded effectively by Afro here. As Rawls had committed himself into a bit of a cheeky angle. There's a flank developing. 2 players push down and through into the back line. But Exos is watching for this, but it doesn't matter if you're watching if he can't hit the shot, and he cannot. Not in any way. Smoke now down. Spiidi follows up. That's dropped the bomb at the bottom of ramp. And this round that was looking so very good has come apart at the seams. No dice.
Okay. Well, the back and forth nature is set to continue. HEET, slightly tricky buy decision, but I think they kind of have to. Jocko is super worse for wear. Well, enough of them can get rifles that it justifies it. Exercise very little utility to his name. So this round, they can't just play a standard default. They don't have the utility. So I definitely expect a bit more contact heavy, looking for fights. And they've decided mid is where they want to probe.
Probably shall. This is kind of interesting, right? They've been allowed over the mid berm for free. Nobody was watching this. What was this awareness for Sprout? They just assumed? that it wouldn't happen, but their recovery is just as good. And now it's looking A-okay. They need to go out by the HVAC, but they've done so. Turn the temperature back down on this one. Afro is trying to make something happen individually, but he cannot connect. That looked really bad for a split second, and then all of a sudden, Sprout made it all fine.
Indeed, indeed. HEET. Wind from their sails seems to be departing. That was 9 in the row to close out the first half, and Sprout starting to clean up shop. This is their map pick, so we should expect some more strategic depth, I guess. But it just feels like HEET. It's such a big lead. So much economic control, and this T side is starting to prove a little problematic.
All right, well, the investment comes back through for HEET. Little investment back in. Little money. Sprout have put together a few rounds to really close this gap. HEET were such late starters in the first half that you still got to believe that maybe they can crack that on through, but Sprout have stabilized in a big way. Slacks is rocking 8K in his back pocket, even after being fully invested into this one. That's a pretty position for an opera, right? That's a nice spot to be in. Well, you know, you've got your next gun and maybe even the gun after that already paid for, already stashed away on layaway.
The insurance is ready to pay out.
Is it life insurance in this instance? Because hopefully. Oh, smoke fade, nice kill for Spiidi. Afro is taken out there elsewhere. Slacks needs to avoid getting killed in towards mid. This could be bad. Molotov should secure it. So it will be, I was going to say 4-all, but no, not so much. Afro out of play. Timely peek from Rawls. Catches him reloading. And now it's a problem for HEET. They're getting stuck out on towards the ramp again. They're all here. Got no other options. No bailouts. They've still got a minute. Slacks is coming looking. He wants to reaggress. He wants to connect his shot. He's not going to have it. But again, not punished until now. Joko catches him. With all the smokes down, surely this is your moment to plant the ball. Joko going to go through. He gets one. It's traded. Mega instead. It's Ecstasies. And now all on to Spiidi. It's not going to happen. HEET finally stop this. Get their round back. Maintain the lead.
Looking so good for Sprout as well. Slacks, though, between a rock and a hard place. He needed backup a little bit sooner and it didn't come.
Imagine if he hits that first shot, though, on the scaffolding, right? Then
Oh,
he
it
can
would have
just
been
stay
amazing.
in that side hallway, and boom, their setup's perfect.
That can be the difference maker. Down to the fine margins. Windows broken for HEET, as again they're loading up mid. Slacks hasn't been here to punish these heavy contact plays, and actually his bodyy. Did he have a top spawn? Bodyy on the AWP.
Oh, what?
Oh, God.
Body's been playing a lot of the op for some reason on this T side. I think they've been watching too many Godsend demos. I'm just going to start shifting the op around a ton. That is an interesting thing. That was like the team that we have no roles. Everybody ops. Everybody plays everything. Changes on the map. Now they don't do that anymore. Just a bummer. Staehr is not having many bummers here. 3 huge kills. Bottom of the ramp claimed, and that's going to be another in the back pocket of Sprout. That's a bit of a backbreaker for HEET as well. The money is in the dumpster. They can't chain 2 rounds together, and now the Derman squad has a chance to just rise above and close this map here, Alan.
They looked brilliant in the last few. No surprises to see another timeout. Maybe a couple more could have been useful throughout this campaign. But Sprout, after such a flat end to that first half, they have made quite the statement here on the CT side. The scoreline says it's even, but I think we both feel that this is Sprout's map to lose now, especially as this eco is soon to follow. Round starts ticking in. Slack still yet to have a lot of impact, but the young riflers and Ralphs are really carrying a lot of weight here. Staehr in particular, for me, has been brilliant on 8.
I think there's no denying that, right? He's been so impactful. It's just, it's what we love to see. Reminder for anyone who's new to watching Sprout, lauNX and Staehr are both 17. 17.
What were you doing at 17, Mike? Because I wasn't doing anything this impressive.
I played a lot of Skyrim. Like a lot of Skyrim. Like too much Skyrim. Let's be real here. Oh, XC's playing a little Tech 9 action, but it's not going to ultimately make a difference. Bodyy needs a crazy deagle clip, and instead it will be Staehr, that oh so impressive 17-year-old, to get himself his 4th kill of the round. Look, all I'm saying is if there was a competitive Skyrim at 17, I might have been in.
You're playing the wrong game.
Yeah, apparently.
I guess. I'm trying to think
What about
what I
you?
was doing. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
what were you
think.
doing at 17?
2017, 2012, 2013.
That would have been 2011, 2012. 2011. Because I turned 18 at the end of 2011. I think. Oh, wait, so when you were 17, right? You're younger than me.
Yeah. No,
That would have been later. I gotta remember those years. No, later than 2012. 2013 or
I'm a
2014
youngling
for you.
compared to you.
You are a youngling. And speaking of younglings, they're still alive? No! My goodness, there. The younglings are so impressive for Sprout again. Staehr brings around back and whacks. Slack's helping as well. Joko and Bodyy. And 2-on-3. They're allowed a lot of space over towards B, and they're going to take advantage of this. Try and work their way up the steps as Slacks has given up the room. But lauNX and Slacks are close at hand.
Headstack
an
boost
interesting
comes in. Oh, it's a beautiful angle. It's a beautiful angle. lauNX is the only one nearby, and what does he choose to do? He's going to fight? He's dead so far
all the
off.
timing?
Oh my god.
That's filthy. That's filthy. The one moment he needed, and he'll take both. No, Staehr behind him. They peek together. Ah, that was filthy. That's got to be so upsetting if you're HEET. You think you finally have a moment to plant the bomb, and lauNX just says no.
He's so fast, man. Moment someone's anywhere near his crosshair, they are assassinated.
Mm-hmm.
And now they reach 15. lauNX doing a lot better at 17 years old than I was.
Yeah. You're 17 years old, chat. Feel bad. Feel bad about yourself and your level of accomplishment. Because I'm 28 and I'm feeling bad about my level of accomplishment watching these guys just absolutely rip it on the server. Oh, here comes the play. lauNX again. Making it happen here. I don't know what the heck just happened there. It was ugly. But it is 2 very critical kills for HEET. Speaking of ugly, Slack's just naded himself.
He's alive. He's still alive.
I like how he watched the HE whiz pass and he was like, I'm just going to tank it. I got to stand here.
Taking their time with this. I guess they're waiting for the tap. That flash is clearly going to come out paired up with some wide swings from Rouse and Staehr. There's the flash. Rouse commits in. Staehr has no idea a player's close left. Joko finds one. Bomb still gets planted. It's a little bit in the open. Slacks is so low.
What? The confidence.
What?
What is that? He's got no health. And he just swings and no scopes and then baits the setup rolls to close the map. That's team play. That's what you love to see. That's team play coming through to seal the deal. I mean, that's everything, right? A huge individual play, just swinging a no-scope in the guy, and then you bait to set up your teammate. That's a beautiful sequence coming through from Slacks.
Was that 11 HP when he swung as well?
Yeah.
That is,
Yeah.
that is beautiful.
Wow.
But for Sprout, I mean,